I think we ought to consider putting, not necessarily in this line, but adding some monies for
An assistant or
some type of payables clerk and possibly payroll clerk, some sort of financial assistant, I guess. Considering, and here's why. We have, by all views and opinions, a wonderful finance director, just that she's part-time. So at certain times, we're going to have to work around the schedule that she has, and she's been very accommodating, and no reason to complain about it. But there are things that need to be done on a regular basis that could be done by someone clerk-wise during the week, filing, payables entry, payroll, perhaps, or other filing, and then that leaves the finance director to work on the real heavy-hitting finance issues of really going through and making sure that we're where we need to be and not doing the road stuff. So I'd like to see maybe $6,000 to $8,000 additional somewhere. I don't know if we call it an assistant.
You're basing that on some kind
basing
of
it on
figure?
about 12 to 15 hours a week.
Okay.
And then sort of tapering off to maybe a day a week, 8 hours a week
Okay.
at some point in time.
Anybody else opinion, Dave?
If it's needed, we're just trying to cut things, now we're adding them.
I know.
well, you had the discussion of possibly having somebody that's part-time in the building learn how to do this, but by the time you get done training them and they have those hours to do that, now you've created another full-time position as opposed to somebody that can just come in and help temporarily. Basically, when the selectman or the finance officer says, "Hey, I need somebody," there's a bit of a budget there. I'd say $6,000-7,000 would probably work.
This is something that I could do. We divvied up some things before. This is the kind of thing that I could come in and do. We could find other people to do it. Temp agencies, depending upon the time of year, the need, that kind of thing. I don't think we'll have trouble because it's a very generic kind of skill. A lot of people have this skill, and but I do think that this has been where we've consistently kind of been behind the 8 ball, and we're kind of feeling right now, especially as we've been going through the budget and tax rate this week, that I think we should apply a little more resources here, and if it can not only help offload things from our finance director, but also from our town administrator, I think that would be well worth it.
So how much did you say? 6,000? Is that what you said?
I heard 6,000 and 8.
I was thinking 6,000 to 8,000, so make it
7,000.
7,000.
7,000. There you go.
Can you add that in there?
Yeah, my only comment would be is that, how can I say this? Part of the reason we are where we are is because, number one, there has been no consistency, and number two, you've had too many fingers in the system. Okay. My feeling is that right now we're not doing the maintenance work. The maintenance work is minimal. We just don't have that many line items. We just don't have that many invoices. I mean, we're considered a small town in terms of the amount of money that goes through our books. The time crunch has been caused by trying to get 2006 squared away, because we can't even begin to get 2007 balanced until we get 2006. And it's just been a matter of time. It's just time. I mean, Janet and I are very capable and we want to do it, and we want to get it set up right. It's just been a matter of time. I think that's great if we can get help, but I just, at this point, because we have a system going and we're trying to get 2006 cleaned up, you're going to put another person in there that you're going to have to.
But let me just address a few of those things. Janet, I asked her last night how long it takes her to do a table. She said 6 hours a week, and so to me, I'd rather be paying our real sharpshooter in finance to be doing the stuff to clean up 06 and to start working on 07. The other thing is that the too many hands in the pot, absolutely correct. The difference is here is that you would have the finance director directing the person, whoever that might be, as to what to do and, how much to do. So it's being directed by a person that has the knowledge, as opposed to all those other people that were in there with their fingers in the pot, so to speak, were
Not
were
accountable to
acting.
anybody.
We were not accountable, and they were also acting to the best of their knowledge, but they weren't being directed by anyone. They weren't being monitored. No one was going in after the fact and ensuring that they did it correctly. All those other things weren't there. So I think it would be a time saver for her.
But even that being said, if you're gonna have somebody else do it, and she has to go back and make sure they're doing it right, wouldn't we just requesting her to do it?
Well,
Hold on
Now-
a second.
Well, there's other things
Everybody
too.
hold on a second. I don't have a problem putting that in there as long as we don't act on it for a while, because I told Joyce that I'd be more than happy to come in here, mornings. I can come in here every morning, 5 days a week, next week will be 3 days a week, so that she can ensconce herself in that office, Janet, and do what needs to be done to get it caught up. I will be administrator. Al and I did it last summer. I will field calls and people coming to the desk, and that way she can do that. Now, once we get it caught up and it becomes maintenance, we may only need Janet and Joyce.
That's very possible.
However,
So-
I agree that we should have something there in case we make the decision to
Yeah.
offer some help, and that's something that obviously we're not going to just do it and shove it down everybody's throat here. We're going to do it with the help and
Well, that's what I'm
advice
saying.
of the people that are
Put
there.
it in there as a just in case, and give us some
Sure,
time
now
to
you're
work on it.
And just one other thing, there's other things that we can do too with our department heads and with the people that are approving their invoices. And we had talked about this, that by the time that invoice comes on my desk, where I look at it and say, yep, and I batch everything up and I put it in a folder on Janet's desk. See, that's one of the other problems. Everything was just kind of getting thrown in there, but at least now I can go in, okay, here's all the cash receipts to be posted. Here's all the invoices to be posted. Department heads need to put a stamp on it, a date, the vendor number, the account number, and put all that information on there. So all Janet has to do is
Absolutely.
just enter.
That's what I meant by process. We have to have the process, but still, we shouldn't be paying the highest paid finance
No,
person
you should
to
be
do
making your
entry.
department
Entry
heads, the
is,
people that are approving those
but
invoices.
entry
should be
is
doing that.
entry. It's data.
They
entry.
could even put the vendor codes on it.
They
Give them a
have to.
list of their vendor codes.
Yes.
The date of the invoice.
But I don't want to just
Check
review.
and
I
make
don't-
sure that the.
But Joyce, I don't just want to review the AP process. I want to see that we've reviewed the whole process all the way through. We've flow chart and looked the whole financial process through and make sure that at each step of the way we're applying the same kind of criteria to make sure that we're doing as much as we can, and making best and efficient use of our resources.
Okay, so $7,000 in the line that would be table clerk,
Finance clerk.
finance
clerk.
assistant, finance clerk,
assistant.
finance
Um,
assistant.
Assistant.
Well, you could just do finance wages and put them both in one line item. You want to keep them two separate
I
line
like
items.
I think it should be separate.
Please.